Some things I wrote down that I think that we're gonna have to do. If you're a black church and you don't have a food pantry or you don't have a feeding ministry, you want to look into that ASAP. Okay, you want to partner with local grocers, farmers, mutual aid networks. You want to partner with other nonprofit agencies to bring resources to your church, to bring a food pantry to your church. If you don't have in my second book, Risks We Must Take. I hope I don't fall. In my second book, Risks We Must Take, in the last chapter of my second book is entitled The Choice to Be Intentional and Charitable in Our Spending. And in this, the subtitle, Directed Dollars and Benevolent Budgets. The choice to be intentional and charitable in our spending. If you are a pastor of a church that does not have a benevolent fund, I'm talking about monies earmarked to go to members in need if they need help with their utilities or transportation or their rent, you need to do that. You need to set aside monies designated. You're probably doing that anyway, but you may not have a specific line item, a specific budgetary allocation for that. You need to do that. You need to do that. And you need to start putting money away now. Okay. Also, health and wellness ministries. One of the things that we are looking to purchase here are vans. We want to purchase at least 2 or 3 church vans. Not just so that we can pick people up for church on Sundays or on, special events. But if one of our seasoned saints needs to get to an appointment, we can help them with that. If one of our members needs to be transported to meet with a social worker, we can help with that. Okay. As benefits are being cut and benefits are being lost, then guess what people are going to have to do? Well, now I got to take my bus money, my transportation money, buy food with it. But now I don't know how I'm going to get back and forth to my appointments. I don't know how I'm going to get my children to school. We also can do things like host health screenings at our church. We can partner with free or low cost clinics. We can bring here in LA, I know for a fact that we can bring medical trucks to our churches. They'll take people's blood pressure. That's something that we should have on rotation. Start making people aware of these services. Also, pastors, are you educating yourselves to understand the new Medicaid and SNAP eligibility rules? And are you going to help your congregation to understand these new work requirements? All right, maybe host a workshop to educate your members on how to ensure that they do not lose their Medicaid because of these work requirements, because of these reporting requirements and things of that nature. So education and outreach. You can also connect with social workers, legal aid organizations, bring people to your church to talk to your people on a regular basis. Also employment ministries. Employment ministries. How are you helping your people prepare to enter or re-enter the workforce? Resume preparation. Do you have a closet with gently used suits and dresses that people can wear to job interviews? Have you thought about hosting a job fair at your church on your premises? Maybe doing something like that quarterly. And then as always, and then as always, we have to continue to beat the drum. We have to continue to speak prophetically. If you are a pastor of a black church in a red state, or you're represented by somebody that signed this bill, you do know that we can now, houses of worship, houses of worship can now, we can now endorse political candidates publicly across the pulpit. We need to continue to speak prophetically. We need to hold lawmakers accountable. Listen. I lived in Georgia as Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff, as they were running for the Senate. Lived in Georgia. I can tell you that they were elected, and Biden won in Georgia largely because of the black church. I was on numerous calls. Stacey Abrams had a fierce mobilization and organization campaign. And black churches were mobilized. Black churches were on one accord. Black churches were involved, included. And yes, because I was there and I know firsthand, Ossoff and Warnock won because of the black church. Now, whether you like Warnock, whether you don't, whether you like Ossoff, whether you don't, what I'm emphasizing is the fact that when we decide to unify, lean into this, speak truth to power, refuse to allow these politicians to abuse us, mistreat us. When we set our minds on giving these jokers the boot, guess what? They get the boot. They get the boot.